Morning, Mindy Hahn. Welcome to another week of sports morning steam with Ramon Scott and Mindy Hahn. Hi, buddy. What's going on?
Hi, how are you? I feel like me wearing my brown yesterday was, even though brown is usually not a good aura, I think it worked, Ramon. Your Padres came through with the victory.
Well, this is the first year where the Padres have kind of gone back to the brown, and uh, you know, it's not so much the fans wanted it, and that when we went to blue, I mean, who wants to be like you know,
Everyone else?
that other team, but that's who the Padres are going to have to play. So I thank you for wearing your Padres stuff. I'm excited that they won. Um, I will mention it was arguably the most dominating performance in Major League history in a closeout game. I mean, that's a fact.
Right.
Um, you know, uh, not saying that they're the greatest team ever or they're going to win the World Series, but the fact is a fact. And my guy Joe Musgrove, from my rival high school, actually, I've covered Joe. I've written about Joe many years, and saw him in high school even. But he's from my rival high school, but we love him, and
Yeah.
you know. Obviously,
Fair.
what went down in the sixth inning, he summed it up brilliantly. Talking about Showalter, the desperate-looking Mets.
Yeah, I thought it
Obviously,
was kind of, embarrassing that they had to, even go out there to check his ears, the poor umpires.
yeah. But again, what Musgrove said was, I kind of expected that from him. They're going to do whatever they have to do because he was out there being dominant uh, in that game. And well, the Mets they kind of it was El Foldo already. So um,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm not, tooting the horn yet or going crazy. That's a great win. Padres, have a pretty mediocre playoff history and success, but with two World Series berths, we've never won the World Series, obviously, and I'd like to do so before my life is over. That sounds kind of weird, but you know, maybe this will be it. Anything can happen. It's baseball, and I was pleased, and I wasn't jumping up and down and yelling and screaming. I mean, I was happy when it was. I was relieved, more relieved when it was over. Seemed like
Yep, got
they
to get
came
through
in with their
one step at a time.
two best two best relievers. Really, also it kind of set up perfectly. While the Mets, you talk about the desperate Mets and going to the ears and all that, but go back to to game two when they brought in Diaz for uh,
And like,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
inning for the extra work that he had, right? And and yeah, I mean, you know how much I thought that the trumpeting was awesome, but you don't do it in this game, not in this situation when you're coming into the game, whatever it was, and uh, playing the song or whatever, playing your setup song. I mean, it's exciting, and maybe that's what the Mets wanted, one last Timmy trumpet,
Hurrah.
but it wasn't. That wasn't the time or place, and well, they got it handed to them. By my Padres. What can I say? So, but also, Mindy, let's we could. I'd talk about it the whole hour if you want, but let's talk also about uh, NFL. Interesting card, good card. I think, and we definitely had some nice winners, especially with our morning steam team
You
picks.
did
Had
it.
a
Yeah.
really good day coming off the mediocre, bad Saturday that we had, but everything was, real good for us since we got rolling until Saturday. But we came back strong yesterday, and with a 4-0 day. How about that on our consensus picks?
I know. It was pretty exciting. We felt good about them all week, and they really came through for us there at the end, especially those Cowboys that we predicted yesterday. And then also, I need to apologize because when we were on the air, we had talked about our play for the Giants. Totally said under for whatever reason when our
Oh,
play was the over. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I didn't even catch that. You're right, but okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely were on record on the over. I don't think you were trying to pull a fast one. I think you go
No,
back
no,
and
no.
listen.
It's just that,
Oh,
everyone was like, we were hustling. We were saying, hey, you can go ahead and get this play right now if you missed it. And then I totally messed it up. So,
okay. Well, there are the picks, and everyone who we had some subscribers as well to the package, and there you see it, the 4-0. My Chargers also get it done on the road. I had Cleveland as a premium. I didn't
Yeah,
trust
Cleveland gave
them.
that game away. Jeez.
Yeah, they really did. You know, again, I think it exposes Cleveland again to some of the questions that we already had, kind of going in, right. So they've got a little bit of issue for certain, and we also had under with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Pittsburgh never got rolling. It wasn't. Nobody's blaming the rookie quarterback, and we had to go out
No,
there
I mean, you can't
trailing already against the
and the number
great
one
team, but
defense. Yeah.
boy, that first catch by Gabe Davis, Buffalo, looks like we already know they're the real deal with Kansas City in the AFC. But man, they're the only team in the league that looks like they could throw up a 98-yard touchdown pass at any given moment.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they just looked really, really good. It's crazy when they're suddenly talking about, putting up 500 yards of offense. You've had a good day.
And you mentioned the Cowboys. I mean, I don't know if we didn't really say sprinkle the money line on it, but our analysis kind of suggested that it was going to be a tough game for the Rams to win the game, certainly. And what we talked about with the game, it seemed to certainly come to fruition. And you know, right now, Stafford, plenty of issues, no identity for this team right now. Offensively, really, some struggles that the Rams are going to have to work through. McVay has gone from, genius to looking for answers right now, and Dallas continuing to get it done, with their defense and the backup quarterback. And, they'll get back Dak, and they'll be right there. I mean, we know the Eagles are still hot to trot, but I don't think we can sleep on Dallas necessarily, considering all the talented players that they have.
No, 100%. I mean, they just look so good. And again, that offensive line, we figured, or that defensive line, we figured would get to that offensive line of the Rams. And that's exactly what happened too. They were trying to, Matt Stafford's not good when he has to hurry. He's, basically is wild when it comes to that. And then you're playing against, the for the Cowboys as well. And yeah, I mean, like, will the Cowboys upset the Eagles? They got a really good shot at that right now. I think the Eagles don't really have that, like, I don't know, killer instinct, because like they kind of could have had that yesterday versus Arizona. And again, they're letting these teams kind of get back into it. They did that with Detroit. They did again with Arizona, with the Jaguars. It's like they really don't have that killer instinct like the Bills, where they just go ahead and will shut teams down and not let them get back into it.
Well, that should be a great game
Yep.
Sunday night, and we'll get to that eventually. Not tonight necessarily, but we did see the Eagles come nearly a touchdown favorite, 5.5, 43.5 or so. Kind of want to talk about it, but and then they'll play the second game on Christmas Eve back in Dallas. So still good numbers for you, Mindy, off that very strong Saturday too. Got to mention, look at that 7-day mark there. Certainly coming in at about 60%, looking good. Nearly 900 plus in the units category. So the GM yesterday 5-2, and Ben was 8-5 as well. So good day for all. Yesterday, good day for many of the cappers. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You can get some picks for tomorrow. Tony's got his best bet up for Monday night in the NFL. He's got his Monday night football game for $15. Can't beat that. And Nick's got some soccer action coming up this afternoon with a $15 best bet as well. And Paul also with a best bet up there. And you can get our 3-packs for the day as well. Nobody's got anything yet because you know why, Mindy?
Because there's not very many games.
There's not much action today. So we're going to cover Monday Night Football, certainly, but we're also going to start our coverage right now of college football. I know that's a day earlier, but tomorrow we got the NHL season started. So we're going to have more daily coverage, even though we've lost baseball. now we have hockey. So I think it'll be great to drop the puck. We know we had a couple of games, but uh, you know we'll start our college football coverage today. But with hockey started, let's get an early start on it. I went 6-5. Oh well, that's a I put up a number.
I see you.
I got pizza money for one day, so
Yep, I just broke even. Darn it.
all right. Well, we'll want to thank everybody for typing in the chat, saying hi. Let's see hi to everybody. I was kind of looking at the scoreboard, missed all these great comments. So I see you out there. Um, show some of the comments from them. I don't know what I'm even clicking on at this point, Mindy. I've missed so many. Cowboys will upset the Eagles. Will it be Cooper Rush again? Matt says possibly there. All right. Let's get ready. Mindy's on fire. We know that. Yep. Oh, yeah. We'll be here for the hockey crush. No doubt about it. All right. Well, I don't know how rapid fire we can get today, Mindy, with our selections because of the light schedule and just one of those things. Talk about all these sports going off, but we only have the uh, football game today and some NBA preseason. Maybe we'll touch on it. I'll see if you got anything. I might have a little something when we get there, but we'll mostly talk about college football. But let's start with the NFL tonight. You're wearing the Chiefs hat.
I
I was a
am.
Raiders fan until I was about 8 years old, and then they cheated to beat the Chargers. And I said, you know what? What am I doing? I'm in San Diego. I don't want to ever see that again. I'm going to root for the Chargers from here on out. But tonight, Mindy, the Chiefs have absolutely owned the Raiders. Everyone, I think we know all the bullet points in this game. The question is going to rest all on the Raiders here because the Chiefs own the series. Yeah, the Raiders won one in Kansas City. Remember, they played the game of a lifetime and came up with one win against the Chiefs recently in Kansas City. But really, from that, even before that, it's been all Chiefs dominance. It's been mostly Mahomes and Kelsey dominance. I mean, Kelsey's made a career practically out of these games. I would he averages about you'll probably tell me, but he averages like 8 catches a game for like 120 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Well, I mean, I was just, gonna go back to the Chiefs, domination of the Raiders in their last three. I mean, the combined score there has been 124-54. Like you said, they've won 8 of the last 9. I'm just gonna go ahead and look at the total here in this one to the under. The under's 5-0 the last 5 Monday night games. For the Raiders, it's 6-1 the last 7, following a straight up win, and then 5-1 in the last 6 against an ATS win. Between the two, the under's 11-3 in the last 14 meetings in Kansas City. So I like the under here for my free play today.
All right, probably going to respectfully disagree, and I'm going to take the over in the game. I see the Chiefs putting up a big number tonight. I worry maybe the Raiders might not get it done for me, and that might be where you end up with the winning side, and I end up with the short end of it. But for me, I think the Chiefs can put up a big number here. I mean, 5 touchdowns might not be out of the question. I know it's a division game, but for me, I think Mahomes and Kelsey, they got it. They're gonna they know they have to what they have to stop, and they still can't do it. So a lot of Raiders have plenty of issues still moving forward. I like the Chiefs to roll tonight. Like a lot of people, I know this might be pretty square, but that's the way I'll be on this game. 7.5 does kind of bother me. Maybe that's why I'm not going to give it out here right now. And I don't think the number is necessarily coming back. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll go up. Who knows? Could have laid a little bit cheaper of a number if you got on it really, really early. But I'm going to go with the over in it. We're going to be in disagreement here on the football game. All right.
All right.
I don't know if you want to talk about,
I like the Chiefs. I mean, again, I'll give that one away too. I like the Chiefs here. I'd buy it down to 7. I think that's, reasonable here. And again, I think it's going to be pretty one-sided, or at least that's kind of what I'm rooting for. I mean, pretty much the Raiders here, you have to shut down Devontae Adams. If you can do that, you're probably going to be okay. The running game hasn't really been too much of an issue. And as long as, Mahomes keeps, I think, a hold of the ball, be all right.
All right.
I mean, I would like a 52 over victory. I mean, it would be a fun game to watch, Ramon.
Yeah. But you see it more maybe somewhere, 28-17. What do you think?
Well, I mean, even if I look at like say a 35-10, something like that, or a 35-14, I'm still kind of in that category. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to go over, the 5 touchdowns there, that sort of thing.
That's a blowout. Well, we know Monday night is going to have some bad games lately.
That is true.
Got the Chiefs on it. So, all right. Well, that's our coverage of the Monday Night Football game. I'm wish we had a consensus, but we're in disagreement here on that total, and maybe you get the gist of where we're going with it elsewhere. But let's get into college football for the week and start our coverage here on Monday. Because the week also starts kind of early too, with a Wednesday game, right? So
Right.
we'll get right into it. A rematch of the New Orleans Bowl. Who knew?
I didn't.
Lafayette takes on. It was New Orleans Bowl last year with these two teams. Louisiana going up against Marshall. Marshall's a 7.5-point favorite. Total 47.5.
Yeah, Lafayette, they're just been having just tons of trouble scoring. Only 19 points of offense. In going 16. At home with their 28th ranked defense. I'm still going to look for an under the total here in this one, under 7-0 in the last 7 games, following a loss, 6-1 in the last 7 home games, and 5-1 to the under in October. I'll take the under, Ramon.
All right, yeah, Marshall, they got that real good defense. I think. I mean, even though they, maybe it's not the same team quality wise against way back when the Notre Dame game. I mean, that's a long time ago now.
It's
People forget about that, but ULL's got the poor offense. The money's on the under. Obviously coming in, I kind of thought it would be, I might like the total over. Last year, the New Orleans Bowl, there was 36-21 was the final score in that one for Marshall. ULL 4-1 to the over off of a spread win. Marshall has a pretty good running attack. I'm gonna have to go over here. I'm gonna have to disagree again. I'm gonna go over this number. I know ULL is struggling, but I think Marshall might be able to put up something here. And at this low number of 47.5, I have it at 51. So we're gonna have another disagreement already.
Darn.
We agree to disagree. All right, on Thursday now, Baylor is going to travel to take on West Virginia. Baylor, a 3.5-point favorite, and the total is 55.
Geez, Baylor, they're off a good one versus Iowa State. Virginia Tech's off a beatdown of Virginia Tech. Then that loss to Texas. West Virginia put up 22 first downs versus Texas, though, and we're 50% on third downs. Baylor's 1-4 in their last 5 Thursday games. West Virginia 4-1 their last 5 Thursday games as well. Home team's 4-1, and this matchups, I'm going to be looking at West Virginia here at the plus points. Home dog.
All right, yeah, Baylor won at 45-20 last year, but they were just a 1-point favorite at home in that one. Maybe you talk about the home dominance in the series. I think Baylor can come out and they're favored. They obviously are taking money here. They lost that game to Oklahoma State, but Gundy, I mean, God, he's just on a roll right now. I'm gonna probably look to go over in this one. I think that too much of an adjustment here on the total. I mean, my instinct was to go under, but I thought the number might come a little bit higher in this one. So I'm going to have to go over 55. I think there might be. I think they can get to 60 in this game, considering the kind of the way that the matchup, way you talked about it as well. So I don't know. I think Baylor can score here, and you know maybe get this number. I'm not going to go against you necessarily, laying the points on the road when it's tough to go in to Morgantown, but I'm going to go ahead and go over as my free pick in Baylor and West Virginia. All right, we got a big favorite here in Central Florida. They're favored by 25 against Temple, and this total is 46 and a half. Really lopsided game.
Yeah, it is. Temple got beat up pretty good by Memphis and UCF, coming off a big win versus SMU. Plumlee, he's just too much for this Temple team, along with their, 252 yards of rushing that they average here per game. I'm just going to look at the total here again. I'm looking at a lopsided matchup here. The under's cashed 4 of the last 5 times. And for the Owls, 6 of the last 7 times. So I'm going to go ahead and look to the under 46 and a half here in this one.
Yeah, Temple might have trouble scoring, but UCF might not have any trouble scoring. They might score on every possession the way it's going right now. The line would suggest what 28, 40, about somewhere in the 37 to 10 range. But man, I don't know, I could kind of see it going 40, 35, 4, 42, 14. That'd be an over. That'd be going against you. I think UCF's going to win this one by at least 4 touchdowns. That's what I think right now. The teams are combined. You talked about the under. They're a combined 2-8, right, to the under this season. So hard for me to sell anything going against you on the over. UCF scored 49 points last year though in the game, and they're off that. They scored 41 in that SMU game. I'm going to take UCF to really blow them out. Late 25, I think they can get there by 4 touchdowns. I think they'll win by 28 points here, and UCF's going to be my free play. All right, moving on to Friday now and take a look at Navy and SMU. SMU, oh boy, a 13-point favorite here. You think about this, they probably would have been favored by, 3 touchdowns if the teams weren't in their current state, where obviously Navy in pretty decent form and SMU not.
Yeah, I mean, because Navy improved to 2-1 in the American Athletic Conference, gaining 490 yards of offense versus Tulsa. They put up a lot of points in that 53-21 victory, and then SMU lost to UCF, like we just talked about, in a blowout, 41-19. Navy's had, I think a lot of success covering the spread versus SMU in their last 9 outings. They're 6 in last 7. I'm going to look for Navy and the plus points here to be able to use that run game to pull this one out.
Yeah, 13. I think I can go with that. Let's get a consensus, I think, on this one. Last year, SMU won it, but they didn't cover. They won it by 31-24 margin as a 13.5-point favorite. It went, under. It went slightly under the total. And you look at the total here, it's kind of, what is it, 57. That's kind of up from an opener of 54.5 already. I don't know if I necessarily see that being the case. I mean, Navy, they've covered 3 straight now, while SMU's failed 4 straight. So Navy they had a nice game against Tulsa. I think we were touted Navy in that one, and SMU lost at Central Florida. They allowed, they're averaging about 40 points allowed in the last 3 games. So let's agree to
something.
Let's agree on something, please, and take Navy plus 13. I think we're actually getting a pretty good number there. It would be great to get more, but I think it was around 11.5, and SMU might be taking a little bit of money here. So we're on a dog, and we're getting some points with Navy. All right, I guess we got to watch this one because there won't be much else. There'll be some baseball going on and stuff like that, but this one's pretty ugly. Florida International, they might. I don't want to say anything bad about them right now, but you have, two kind of, under the radar programs as far as their profile is concerned. But UTSA is they're not under the radar anymore. I mean, everyone knows about this UTSA offense, and they're going up against an FIU team that they're pretty terrible, obviously.
Yep. But they do have that whole new coaching staff there at Florida International. But yeah, I mean, UTSA, I mean, for the last couple of years have been, pretty dominant in their conference, 2-0 in conference play, coming off a big win of Western Kentucky. And then FIU had a pretty bad loss where I thought they might be able to do a little bit more versus a UConn team. They lost to them 33-12. Both of these teams have been really, bad against the spread. UTSA, they're 1-4. FIU 1-9. I mean, that's just horrible trying to cover the spread. UTSA, they're averaging well over 39 points a game. FIU is giving up the 39 points a game here. I'm going to take UTSA to cover the spread pretty easily at the minus 33.
Okay, well, I can't do it, Mindy. I mean, I could do 28. I might even be able to do 30. I don't know if I could do 33. I don't know if I can get on board there. But look at that 63.5. That stands out. I mean, I know UTSA 5-1 to the over. They're just crushing, but they did go under last game. Finally, right? You talked about FIU's woes right now. The line would suggest about 49-14. If I'm looking at that correctly. So I'm just trying to make a realistic score too, 48-14, because 47-14. Okay, I can see that, but I don't know. I don't know if FIU can even score 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go under 63.5. I think more realistically is like 42-7, 49-7, 49-7. That'd be a big time cover. Let me make sure I got. Yeah, I still want to go under. Florida, maybe they kick a field goal or something and end up with 10. But yeah, for me, I think I'm going to end up with the under in the game. I mean, UTSA is just, man, they're really putting up some big numbers. But man, 63.5 for an FIU, they have to almost. UTSA would have to. Gosh, they'd have to get almost 40 in the mid 40s or higher. They could, I guess. Florida National's that bad. So Mindy's got UTSA and I've got the under. All right, let's get into Saturday now and start with some nice matchups. Look, great matchup here. Penn State and Michigan. We know Michigan, questionable schedule. I get that, but still a favorite here. In fact, they've taken the money early on here. Now they're up to 7. The total is 51.
Yeah, the battle of the 2 unbeaten Big Ten teams. Michigan scores well over 43 points a game here, unless they play Iowa, I guess, which is, 12th in the country, and only give up 11 points a game, which is 8th in the country. Penn State, again, they're no pushover. Really like them this season. They're scoring about 34 points a game and only give up 14. I just look at this one. I think it's going to come down maybe a little bit more to the rushing game here with Blake Corum. He's had at least 124 yards in each of his last 3 games. Michigan is 14-6 against the spread their last 20 overall. I think Michigan's going to use this balance attack, be able to win and cover versus Penn State. I think Michigan's probably going to run the table this year.
Well, they've had that weak schedule. Everybody wants to question it. Maybe it lends to a little bit of, because that's kind of one of the talking points, I think, with Michigan. They are 1-5 to the under. This one moved a little bit higher. I'm kind of, I was thinking over, but I don't like it necessarily now at 51.5. I would prefer it to be, in the maybe the high 40s. I could get behind an over there. Last year was 21-17 in a pretty low scoring game, and that went under the total of 47 at that time. So, Penn State, what was it? What was that game now? It's against Northwest. They won 17-7. I remember that.
Yeah, I thought it was like 20-7 or something.
Yeah. So it was 2 weeks ago, right? So maybe it just escapes me right now. So I agree with you. I think Michigan. I mean, look, I'm not worried about the game against IU. I don't think they got the money there. It went way under. I agree with you. It surprises me because you've been so big on Penn State. I thought you were going to come in and say, close game here, but I think Michigan actually, I don't know if it'll be a close game. I think Michigan can get this number, and I think they can get it comfortably. I like Michigan by double digits here. Let's take a consensus
Let's go on.
play with the Michigan Wolverines against Penn State. Nothing against the Nittany Lions. I was surprised. Mindy, are you relying more on your numbers there, or are you feeling that Michigan is, I don't want to say they're underrated, but I mean, everyone talks about playing all those cupcakes.
My handicapping, I try not to put any of my feelings, into these games. So mine are usually, solely based off of the numbers, and then also a variance of, you know, if players go in and out, or if there's anything crazy that happens. I try to have enough variance in there in order for me to pick which ones are, like, say, my premium plays or my second best plays. So again, I'm giving this out as, a free play. It's probably not one that I would put a premium on, per se. But again, it's when we talk about it and we put our heads together, then we start to like these picks a little bit more, where we have a little bit more confidence in that. And that's where our feelings come into play, a little bit. Because with you, I hear, you watch the market, you can take a look at what, maybe some of the sharps are out there doing, where this movement is. And so I think that helps us along the way also to get another view of how each other handicaps. So,
Well, yeah, well, and this is sharp early action too on Michigan, and no matter what, it's still tough to go into the big house, even if you're Penn State and beat them. And if it makes you feel any better, this would have been a premium for me. I would have come in on the total because you went on the side. That's how
uh-huh.
I do this show with you. I kind of look for to give out two plays, but again, I explained I liked it over if it was you know 47, 48, or 49, I was ready to go over. But at 51 and a half, 51, 51 and a half, I'm not ready to do anything with the total right now. The line doesn't necessarily have to move for me to change. The information could change, and I could come back with a total, make a private play, or even make a recommendation as a premium. This would have been a premium, but the fact that you like Michigan and I like Michigan would have been a premium. It's a freemium, and it's also going to be a premium when uh, we
Yeah.
put as one of our consensus plays. So just remember, folks, if you missed the show, our consensus plays, the morning steam, if you go to tonyspicks.com and you find the morning steam account over there, all of our consensus plays that you get for free right here on the show if you join us every day, Saturday through Thursday. They're trying to get me to do Friday, but we'll see. Anyways,
It's my sleeping in day.
yeah. Well, the point I'm trying to make here, Mindy, is if you
Right.
do miss the show, anybody can get our picks. They do have to, subscribe to the picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off the cost, but you get the plays right here for free if you watch our show every day. However, this will be one of those plays, one of those premium plays for us now. And again, like I said, Mindy, for me, it was a premium play. So I like them too.
Yep.
I like Penn State. I think Mindy does too, but I think this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I love Penn State. Again, like I said, I bet them early in the season to go over, 8 wins this season. I've been high on them. I think we've been on Penn State all but 2 games, something like that. I mean, so they are usually pretty good at beating the spread, but it's just I think situational with this Michigan team. Penn State plays a little bit of sloppy ball. Michigan really doesn't. So it's going to come, I think, down to, a little bit of that. It's going to be, in these big games, it comes down to, key situations, a turnover here and there, not converting a third down. I mean, like, that's what this game's probably going to come down to.
Well, let's hope it comes down to Michigan winning it by 2 touchdowns or so. Let's move on and head on over to the MAC, where Central Michigan is going to take on Akron. Central Michigan, 13 and a half. They opened 12. This one's on the move with Central Michigan, and the total 59.
Yeah, so I mean, these two teams are kind of both, struggled a little bit thus far. Only have one, one each. That's kind of hard to say there. Akron, only scores about 18 points a game, give up 40. They also have the 277th ranked rushing game, only gain about 75 yards a game. It kind of makes them pretty one dimensional that way. And their opponents then, game plan to that. Central Michigan, they average 401 yards a game on offense, score 26 a game. I like Central Michigan to be able to shut down this Akron Zips passing game, and they'll score against that, low ranked defense there.
Well, last year, Central Michigan, 45-24 victory. They were just 2.5 point favorite, went way over the total. We know Akron lost last out to Ohio in a high scoring game, 55-34, as a 9.5 point dog. That went way over the 58. Central Michigan, of course, lost to Ball at home in that 17-16 game, and that went way under. That was expected to be in a game in the 60s. So I don't know. This one could be another high scoring game for me. Oh man, I really think that Akron at home. I'm gonna have to disagree with. I'd like to get 14 points. I'm gonna disagree though and take Akron here. Plus 13 and a half. I just think it just again, yeah, free play. I thought that opener at 12 was okay. And the fact that I'm getting an extra 1.5 on it, I'll just go with Akron. We're going to.
Yeah, I thought Akron was going to have a better outing, last week versus Ohio, and they just, didn't there as well. So,
put up some points. So,
yep.
All right, let's more Big Ten action with Minnesota and Illinois. Minnesota, they've got some health issues, I think, certainly coming in with their run game. They're still pretty decent, but missing their star last out. Going up against Illinois. Illinois has been fun. They've been decent. Pretty good matchup here with Minnesota, 3.5 point favorite, total of 39.
Yeah, so I think it's crazy that if you look at these two teams statistically, they give up only 8 points per game on defense each. Like, how is that even possible right now? But it has a lot to do with just being in the Big Ten and these low scoring matchups. Illinois, they're usually scoring about 26 points a game. Minnesota, 38. I think the difference in this one's kind of going to be, Minnesota, that first place, in the country, third down efficiency and scoring. They're sitting at like 68% on that. I think Minnesota should be able to take care of Illinois. Illinois is not really putting up much offensively. I think they should be able to handle here a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Man, I want to agree with you, and I'm gonna agree with you. We're gonna lay the points with Minnesota.
All right.
Let's do it. I think so. Look, worried about laying it really on the road, but I can't take Illinois in the spot right now. I still like this Minnesota team
I do too.
moving forward. Yeah, I mean,
They had like one little falter there, and everyone's like, "Oh, what about Minnesota?"
Yeah, I mean, for me, early on, I was, when I first started looking at it, I was trying to build a case for Illinois because I always look when I see, I'm always going to build a case for a home dog first, but I just couldn't get there. I couldn't get there. And so I ended up certainly on Minnesota. I thought my number, it's about 5. So that's not a huge edge, but I'm still gonna have to agree with you. I'm not too interested necessarily in the total. Kind of looks right on to me. If it was 40 in the low 40s, definitely would have been coming in on the under. Even at 41 or 41 and a half, I might have been coming in on the under. At 39. Kind of loses it for me. I appreciate what you said about and we've seen some ridiculous scores certainly in some of the Big Ten action, but let's have a consensus play with Minnesota on the road against Illinois. I think it's a great call. And we're back to the MAC. A return to the MAC. Miami of Ohio, 6.5 at Bowling Green. My Bowling Green team, Mindy, uh, 6.5, 47.5 with Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, but in the last 2 years, Ramon, Miami, Ohio, they beat Bowling Green, 34-7. And then, 2 years ago, 44-3. I mean, Bowling Green just gives up a ton of points. That's putting them out like 267th in the nation. Miami, Ohio, coming off a win over a good Kent State team, 27-24. Bowling Green got blown
That's a
out by
dog. Yeah.
Buffalo. I think I'm going to take Miami, Ohio. They're the hotter team here in this one, even though I think Bowling Green, they'll be in contention in this one.
All right, so I think you're getting I don't know, 6.5 seems kind of tough for me there. You're on Miami of Ohio. Uh, I I wanted to go over in this game. I was hoping it would come a little bit lower. This one's really man, this was really tough for me considering. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to take Bowling. I'm just gonna have to take Bowling Green because I can't get involved with the total
Your
yet.
team, Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, I really like him in this game. It would have been a premium, but you're giving out Miami of Ohio. I don't want to necessarily disagree, but I wanted to maybe look to the total over in this one. I really was hoping it would come maybe 45, maybe something. Give me a little. But the books were too sharp. In fact, it moved a little bit higher, anyways. So that took me out from playing the over right now. Now that could change for me, but since we're here on Monday and I've got to give out a play, Bowling Green was going to be a premium for me in this one, Mindy. So I'm going to be on Bowling Green. I'm going to take them on the money line too. Again, I am. I'm going to
No.
be yeah. Yeah. Maybe Bowling Green plus the points is my official free play, but I'm also going to take Bowling Green on the money line. You heard it here on the morning steam.
I know, suffering those bad two money line defeats in, like 3 days.
All right, ODU is going up against that juggernaut, Coastal Carolina. Do they ever lose at this point? Coastal, red hot. They're 11-point favorite here. ODU's been fun, but man, Coastal, those Chanticleers, they're something else.
Yeah, I mean, Old Dominion's coming off that bad loss, to Liberty, 24-38. Coastal defeated Monroe 28-21. Didn't quite cover the spread there in that one like we thought they would. Old Dominion, they struggled, offensively, scoring only 21 points and gaining 321. Their third down efficiency was well below par, 23.9%. I think Old Dominion here, they're just going to have trouble scoring. I think it's going to keep the total down then. And, because of that, I think that's going to be a one-sided Coastal Carolina team. I think they're going to go ahead and control the ball here a little bit while scoring points. I'm going to take the under 57.5.
All right. Well, the move's certainly been on the under, and I don't know. I was kind of one way or the other on it. I think it might be getting a little bit low, where I would maybe lean over. I'll see. I'll wait and see what happens on that. But for me, I got to think Coastal looks like the side for me. I think they could win this one by 2 touchdowns against Old Dominion. Old Dominion's so bad, Mindy, defensively. And Coastal, they can do it all. They run and pass. And, not that Old Dominion has been, they've been fun. They've been fun. Yeah, it was maybe a disappointment in that game to Liberty. They lost by 2 touchdowns. Went way over. You mentioned their scoring was not sufficient, and they still contributed. Giving up 38. Liberty, we know that they can be kind of hot and cold, but their offense was certainly good there. So I don't know. For me, I think I'm going to have to go with Coastal Carolina. I think they can get this one by 2 touchdowns. You mentioned they're undefeated. The 6-0 record, despite the cover streak, is bad. I get it, Mindy. I mean, they've covered they've won 9 straight now, dating back to last year, with just 2 covers.
Right.
So they're just overrated by the public. There are people like me going, "Oh, Coastal! Look at this team; they're so great." And I'm going to do it again because I think they should be favored by 2 touchdowns here against ODU. I'm going to lay the double digits with Coastal again. despite you know learning my lesson time and time again with them. Let's get some SEC action on Saturday with, oh boy, Mississippi. They're fun too now. They're a big favorite here against Auburn. Who'd have thunk it? 15 and a half. Total 54 and a half. Auburn can't cover anything.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, they put up about 40 points a game, putting them at 25th in the country. Only give up 14 points on defense. Auburn hasn't managed to score more than 17 points in their last, 3 games, basically, averaging only 367 yards a game here on offense. Ole Miss, on the other hand, they're like almost 500, 490 yards per game. They also rushed for 241 yards, putting them at 16th in the nation. And also have a really nice third down efficiency, putting them at 53.2%. I think Ole Miss here is going to be able to just, be lights out against an Auburn team here that's been struggling. I'd like them to win by the points.
Well, I like them to win too. I think it's, I don't know, 15 and a half though, when I could have laid 13. It just seems like it's getting higher and higher. I love Ole Miss right now with their perfect record. Uh, last year Auburn won it and covered and went kind of under, but man, Auburn, you talked about the Georgia game yesterday and what happened there. Failing to get the number late when they were kind of in it all the way, but yet they still couldn't cover 4 touchdowns, and it still went over the total. And Mississippi, what can you say? They just rolled Vandy, and it goes way, way over. And now look at the total. I mean, that's why it's going up. But I still think now when you get a little bit of defense maybe from Auburn, I'm going to end up going under this total of 54 and a half. I've got it closer to 50, 51 in my window. So I've got under in this one as my free play in that game. I mean, I look at, uh, last year's game, 51 points. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm going back again. I know it's different now with Mississippi, the favored team, and it's all up to Auburn at this point to kind of turn things around. I mean, the pressure's on there, but Ole Miss has been a good story so far. This is I don't know what to think about. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Oklahoma, I get it. 7 point, it's still Oklahoma. They're going up against the juggernaut Kansas Jayhawks, but it's unfortunate we're capping this game on Monday. Caution everybody, keep your lookout on the injury report. Let's see what happens to Daniels. Let's see what happens with Gabriel, the quarterbacks for both teams. We have a total situation here, but Minnie, there's no doubt that Oklahoma, I mean, to be a 7 point favorite just boggles the mind, really, if you think about it. But Kansas has been awesome.
Yeah, and Kansas has, kind of done more and more to prove to me their worth here over the season. Because I have this old Big 8 Kansas mentality still stuck in my head for, throughout the years here, where they just were, really unable to do much of anything offensively. And Oklahoma coming off now 3 losses in a row. I mean, they might be, calling for his head here pretty soon. That 49-0 versus Texas. Oh man, that was like, I mean, I thought, Texas would probably win that, but not like that. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And then Kansas here coming off a close loss to TCU. They kind of had that one in the bag. And again, that had a lot to do with a newer quarterback and being in there.
He's doing a nice job. I mean,
but
if
he
he's
missed
in there this week,
that wide open running back. But he missed the wide open, running back there that probably would have scored and put that game away for him. Kansas puts up about 40 points a game, 24th in the country. Third down efficiency is still really nice at 55.5, ranked 7th in the NCAA. I just don't see how this downward trend gets better for Oklahoma right now. They don't look like this, team that has much of anything going. I don't see how I can't go Kansas with the plus points in this one.
All right, Mindy's going to take Kansas +7. They're on fire. What can you say? Yeah, Oklahoma now they've failed 3 straight. Funny that the side and total kind of ended up being right on though, despite all those issues for Kansas. Right? I mean, it almost looks like a cover in a way. I mean, they, as a 7 point dog, they still only lost 38-31, despite the way things were going. They still find a way. Now they're 5-0-1 against the spread. They continue, to cover numbers, and they got the number last year. Now it was a, completely different dynamic. They were getting, like 40 points last year, but they only lost by like 2 touchdowns, or not even that. So I'll agree with you. Let's take Kansas. Oklahoma's got to fix itself. Maybe this will be the week, but yeah, after 49-0 in the Red River rivalry, it's inexcusable.
Right.
So let's look to Kansas to keep going and keep this magical season going. Maybe they'll even get this win. Maybe we should sprinkle the money line. Let's keep it now right in Big 12 country and go with Iowa State and Texas. Texas, a 2-touchdown favorite, and the total 49.
Yeah, so Iowa State, they feature their 15th ranked defense in points allowed. They only give up 13.67 points per game. You have Xavier Hutchinson here for Iowa State, been really solid performer in every game, putting up 100 yards plus receiving. But then you have, Robinson, the running back there for Texas, doing good work too, putting up 107 yards rushing, per game. I think each of these teams will kind of get their, stars involved in this game. I think it's going to be able to, I think Iowa State's going to be able to keep this one close. I'm going to take the points here with Iowa State plus 14.
I don't know what you think of the line. Think about that. Texas now on the how they're looking and being a 2-touchdown favorite when going into the season, Iowa State was the team that really had
Right.
looked like the team, and traditionally it would be Texas. But Iowa State was a Texas. We were questions regarding Texas. Iowa State had momentum coming in. It might have been a pick. It might have been even Iowa State favorite in the off season. I don't know. But now Texas have covered 5 of 6 games. Last year ISU, I remember that one was 30-7, I think, last year. So, yeah, I mean, I think I like where you're coming from there. I mean, especially getting those points. But I look at this total at 49. Now, I know Iowa State, I know we've had some funky scores, but to me, I think this one goes. I think it's a different style of game here with Iowa State and Texas than what we saw, with the ugly 10-9 loss. I think it goes over. I think this one's headed for the 50s in this one. You have, I know Texas has a good, rushing defense, good scoring defense. That doesn't necessarily play against Iowa State and their strengths, right? I mean, they don't have a running game. If they would try to pass, I would think. I know that, they're averaging whatever 23 points a game. Maybe it'll be tougher against Texas, but I don't know. I think they can get some points here, keep it close, maybe even keep it within a touchdown there. I'm going to go over 49 in Iowa State and Texas as my free play. All right. This is the last one. If I'm not, is
Yep.
this right?
Last one that we're going to cover today anyway.
Okay. Thank you. You got me on top of that. Miami of Florida and Virginia Tech. Miami's a 7.5-point favorite. The total 48.
Yeah, so you have both these teams coming off losses. Miami lost to North Carolina 24-27. Virginia Tech lost to Pittsburgh 29-45. I thought Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech was going to be a low scorer. Oh no, it was not. Miami scores 32 points a game. They average 469 yards of total offense. But to me, that's always been a little bit, deceiving here as of late. But yet when you look at the numbers, you're like, oh, a Miami team that, seems to struggle this year, but they're still putting up a lot of points. Virginia Tech, they're also, being able to score. I think they're not as efficient as they once were. I kind of expect Miami to kind of do most of the scoring here in this one. But I still think Virginia Tech can probably go ahead and put up, 3 touchdowns here. So, I mean, I think I'm going to look at an over total in this one, over 48.
All right, I think Miami can get the money here. Yeah, both teams suck against the spread. There's no doubt about it. I think they're a combined 2-9 ATS. Virginia Tech definitely going under in almost all their games this year, 5 of 6. It's not because of the historic hokey defense; it's just they can't really score that well either. Right? Last year, Miami won it 38-26 as a 7-point favorite, went way over the total. If Mindy's calling for it to go over, well, I got to think Miami gets it done here by double digits, and I'm going to take Miami as my free play on Saturday. All right.
Awesome.
Yep, that's a look at college football. Good job there. And we also looked at the NFL game. I don't know, Mindy, maybe there's some NBA preseason. I just typed out some graphics just because I wanted to talk about at least some other sports. Maybe you got some numbers there. We can go through there's a 4-game schedule in the NBA preseason. Of course, NHL starting on Tuesday night. There's a little bit shaping up in the NBA preseason tonight. Wizards at the Hornets. I might just bring up the spreads because these do kind of move early on and get you really, if you've been playing the moves, really you haven't been doing too poorly so far, even if you pay the tax. So here the Hornets 3.5. They're up to 4 now, and I'm already showing 217.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one is probably, too close for me to probably have a play. It's kind of something I could maybe give you, a lean to the Hornets, that sort of thing, but not real confident here in this one, Ramon.
No, this one right there, close to my numbers as well. 76ers at the Cavs. The Cavs, a 1-point favorite. Says 221 on the screen. I'm showing it up to 222.5 right now. And I was thinking over. I better get on this before the show gets off because I wanted to go over in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking to the over total as well. So we might be able to have perhaps a consensus play on this one. I mean, they score absolute ton of points. Field goal percentages are right in there. Both of them shooting high 3-point percentage shots. I just think this one here is going to go way over that total. And obviously,
good.
The lines are.
We need a consensus. I mean, we have our college football consensus plays. I mean, maybe we can even recap them at the end here, but we didn't agree on the football game, so we need. Yeah, we went 4-0 yesterday on our consensus. We have subscribers. We got to get them something. This is, got to have a little prelude to Monday Night Football. Let's take the over as a consensus. All right. We're getting the worst of it. You see 221 on the screen. Got to give it a be fair, 222.5, but. That's okay still? Falls okay in your numbers?
Yeah, I got that okay. I had them like a variance of about 11 at 221, so that puts me at like 9. I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, and after an early run of unders in the preseason, the scores are starting to go up a little bit here. I think it's reflected in some of the line moves as well. So there's a consensus play in NBA preseason. Wow,
hey, we did it.
Rockets and Heat 8.5. This one up to 223.5. I liked the over here, Mindy, but I liked it at over like
217. You said
220 or so. Yeah, I don't know if I could do it now. How about it's a preseason game? I mean, these are how about a lean?
I could maybe give you a lean to the Rockets. That's kind of where I would look at getting the plus points in this one. 8.5 is a lot.
Okay, so those are just typical free plays here. We got Mindy on the Rockets. I'll go free on the over, just because that was.
Yeah, what did that line open at? Wasn't it like 217, something like that?
It definitely opened on at least 219.5. I saw the sharps hit it. Okay. And now it just continues to go up. So again, I mean, it's not Joe Public betting these games at 6 in the morning or to 9 in the morning, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, it's not close to game time.
Yeah, especially in NBA preseason where, yesterday, I mean, you get sharps hitting college football games, but you also get, some sophisticated action on some of this stuff early on. And the Suns 4.5 total. 219.5. That's down to 218.5. Anything here?
Yeah, not really excited about this one here. Another close one. Maybe lean to the Suns, but probably won't make a play here on this one either.
Okay, one consensus play in the NBA preseason. Cool. We got something to sweat
Hey,
besides watching the Chiefs and everything. So good show, Mindy. And don't forget to head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Check out our handicapper profile page. There you'll find all of our premium picks. Click on the Cappers tab. Find the handicapper that fits your game. Mindy, you're on top right now, probably because of your hot week that's continued 27-15 for plus 892 on the all cappers tab. A little bit of an algorithm. They just kind of put the best capper on the top there with Mindy and Nick and Tony and Tiffany because they've not only shown well over the last couple of days but over the last 7 days as well. So good job. What do you think? Any other plans today?
well, I'm gonna be. Well, we kind of gave it away, but I'm
Okay.
gonna have a premium. They're on the Chiefs. I know. Shh, we already gave it away, so it's one of those deals that that will probably be my one play of the day. Since we got some preseason NBA, we'll look for those two plays for me today.
Yeah, and don't forget, I failed, Major League Baseball tomorrow too. Don't forget, and how about our morning steam team? We're 15-7 in the NFL, Mindy, in the morning steam, and 30-24 in Major League Baseball. Those are our two solid sports right now. You get our packages over there, and morning steam team has hit 5 in a row. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. Use the 2-for-1 capper promotion if you just want to get Mindy and I with our premium picks, all of our picks from all the major sports each and every day. You can combine Mindy and I for, how about the next 7 days
That's right.
for $229, and you'll get all of our plays. And it's going to be a big week. And we were kidding about today because it really is such a slow sports day, really. But with hockey starting tomorrow, Major League Baseball playoffs, and NBA just
There's going to be a lot to do.
week away, right? We have a lot of sports coming up, so get us on the 2-for-1 capper promotion there. You pay for one capper, you get the next one for 50% off. So, all right, Mindy, good job. The dogs are barking.
They are ready to go.
I hope that's not because of the Raiders tonight. The Raiders have to play a gigantic game to overcome what the Chiefs continue to do them over and over and over again. All right, catch you tomorrow. We'll bet Major League Baseball. The Padres will be in action against the Dodgers, and I'll have to listen to Tony talk about all the great Dodgers every day, and I'm just gonna.
Right.
I'm not gonna tout anything. And then if we win, I'll be cheering and he'll,
Yeah.
congratulations. But anyways, big underdog in that series.
We need that Padres Mariners World Series, so they better get on it.
Let me just run this. Braves -$2 in the series against the Phillies. Astros about $2.50 against the Mariners. Yankees about $2 against the Guardians. Wow, look out. And the Dodgers, they're only $2.50 or so against the Padres, holding the same odds as the Astros series over the Mariners. I don't see much value in my Padres there at plus 200.
Not really, huh?
Again, remember I was talking about taking the Dodgers at that nice price of what did I say, 7-2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, back in the day, geez, it seems like it's been forever now.
Yeah. But again, you got to overcome the Astros if it does come down to the two top teams. Still 8 teams left now in baseball. All right, Mindy, there. Bye, you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks everybody in the chat for watching. We'll catch you again tomorrow with more Morning Steam. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.